Slimy everybody, I am Corvus Bruxo Luggenikos and this is Starting Out Solitary. I am your Wednesday host and today we're addressing the topic of pagan funerals. I think it is a very well-known fact that different pagan religions have different types of funerals within their own religion, and I think it's not necessary to bore you with the details of each one of them. First of all, because I don't know about all of them, and second of all, because I think that you probably know most of them. So I think what I'm gonna do is to explain how I would like to be taken care of after my death, and to address a little bit the non-facts about funerals in the Celtic areas of Hispania. Hispania being the Iberian Peninsula. So we, for example, know there was a ritual of defleshment by how was the English word for this animal? Vultures. Vultures is the word. A defleshment ritual by vultures for fallen warriors that died in battle. They were exposed on a sacred rock, and they were expected to be devoured by vultures, and this was like the highest honor they could receive, because they would go straight to the realm of sky with other fallen heroes, with war gods, etc. To be honest, I wouldn't mind to be defleshed by scavengers. It would be a honor. It is a great honor in my religion. Unfortunately, that's illegal in my country. So, yeah. And there are plenty of people that were burned and turned to ashes, and their ashes collected on a specific place. Many of them on a necropoli, and many of these necropolis on the other side of the nearest river as a symbolic cross to the other world. Because in the Celtic world, in case you don't know, waters represent an element of passing through or crossing through from this world to the other world. It is seen throughout all of Irish literature, and it is seen in archaeology in many ways. And one of the ways is that most of necropolis, at least in Celtic, Hispania and some parts of Gaul, are on the other side of the river. So the cities are, or the towns, hill forts, oppidums, whatever, are on one side of the river, and the necropolis are on the other side of the river, representing that they're on the other world. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind that either, and it's probably what I'm gonna do, because ashes is one of the most legal ways to be taken care of in Spain. There are ashes that were near homes. There were many of them were buried. Well, you know what I mean. And you know, they were buried with many of the of their own things, like, I mean, if they were warriors, for example, with the inutilized weapons and military panoply in general, with the togs, and stuff like that. Some others were found at home, in a special place at home, but they were mostly rich people, basically. Burial of skeletons wasn't common, but some people did, some tribes did. It's a possibility. But they were buried like raw, like with no casket or anything. And we also found children younger than the age of 2 buried under the floor of their own house. And I think that's because they weren't considered, well, scholars think that it's because they weren't considered part of the tribe or a complete part of the tribe until they reached that age and they received certain rights. So since it was like a different element than a human being or than a child of the tribe, they were buried under the house. It was a thing of the family, not of the tribe, so they wouldn't go to the necropoli. And yeah, that's pretty much what we know about funerals in Celtic Hispania. Well, there are more things, but I don't want to bore you with the details. And how would I like to be taken care of? Defleshment would be a great honor, but that's not a possibility, and I'm sure I'm not gonna die in battle. I'm not a soldier. I'm not a violent guy. I am actually quite a coward in regards to physical pain, so that won't be my thing. I would like to have what I think, I'm not sure, it's called a green burial. I don't know if this is it, but what I mean is being buried without a casket, straight to the earth. But at least in Spain, it's illegal. So, unfortunately, that's not an option either. So what I think I want to do is to be cremated and my ashes buried or scattered on some sacred land, because we don't have necropolis either. So yeah, unless I have physical elements that I can I want to have with me in my burial place, in which case my ashes would be buried again in sacred land or land that I consider sacred. Yeah, rather scattered or even thrown to a sacred river. That would be also nice. But yeah, I haven't thought about that that much. I don't know what I said, sorry. I didn't think about it that much, but I have talked about that with my parents, so they have a slight idea of what I want. Even if I don't decide myself, they could decide for me, and anything they decide would be fine. I mean, they know that the possibilities, a green burial or ashes scattered on a sacred mountain or a sacred river or buried with my talks and my stuff. They know the gods that I want to be mentioned at my funeral celebrations. So yeah, I very much agree with Lippy Witch that you should know what you want for your funeral, or how you want your body to be taken care of. I don't have it clear, but I have mentioned the possibilities. My parents know that. Most of my friends know that. So if they decide, it's not a bad thing either. And yeah, that's I can say for now. I hope that I didn't bore you too much with details or telling what I want to do and stuff. But yeah, that's my reality right now, based on what we know of the religion that I'm trying to reconstruct. Yeah, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see each other next Wednesday with a different exciting topic. And yeah, bye.